Xin chào, tôi là Jacqueline Đỗ, tôi là chuyên viên tư vấn về EB5. Gần 10 năm nay tôi đã làm rất là nhiều dự án về EB5 và ngày hôm nay tôi có cơ hội ngồi đây cùng với lại ông Kurtis là bên giám đốc của trung tâm khu vực Brooklyn Global, và ông đã có hơn 10 năm kinh nghiệm trong lĩnh vực quản lý dự án cũng như là phát triển dự án. Và ngày hôm nay chúng ta có cơ hội ngồi đây để nói về dự án Brooklyn Basin, là một trong những dự án lớn được đầu tư bởi Signature, một công ty quản lý dự án và được CBRE thẩm định rất là tốt. Và ngày hôm nay chúng ta sẽ có những câu hỏi liên quan về đầu tư EB5 cùng với lại ông Kurtis. Hi Kurtis, today nice to meet you and thanks for your time today. And we have some questions from our investor in Vietnam regarding to this project because they are really interesting to invest the next step in EB5, $800,000 to this project. Here is the first questions. According to you, how can investors choose a feasible project with a high success rate?
Yes, so the first parameter you want to look at is the track record of the regional center and the history of it. Golden Bay Global has been in business for over a decade. We have a perfect track record in all of our funds, all of our projects. And you want to look at the management team and the strength of the team, the years they've been in business, their education levels. And Golden Gate Global has raised about $700 million to date. We're looking over the next few years to get to that $1 billion mark. This is a wonderful project. We're sitting here in Brooklyn Basin in the recreation area right now in the Northern States. And this is at the Orion. And so with a few of the parameters are, first you start with the regional center and researching them. And then you also, for the project specifics, want to look at the location, where it's located. You also want to look at the management team who's developing it. And then we talk a little about the capital stack. You want to see how it's funded. So those are just a few basic factors to start with when you're looking at anything in the EB5 space.
That's really good information for the investor in Vietnam because they don't have the visa, the tourist visa, come to visit the projects. That's why I come here on behalf of them to be here to tell you more about their intentions and the questions. And the next question is, can you provide the information on the success rate of the Golden Gate Global Regional Center in the term of EB5?
So for the last decade plus, since 2011, since we've been in business, we were launched in San Francisco as a regional center. And we started working with Lennar Home Builders, one of the largest home builders in the United States. Some of your clients may have purchased homes with Lennar. And we were working on the Hunters Point and Candlestick Shipyard area. And so that's where we started the firm initially. And then we started branching out to other geographic areas outside of San Francisco, mainly in the Bay Area, and then from the West Coast, and we're now expanding to other parts of the country. And so one thing is with a good project like this, as I was mentioning, you want to look at the reputation of the developer, you want to look at the reputation of the regional center, and kind of start there, and then come visit the project, work with a top agent like yourself. Our team is very personable, and so anyone on the team, you can pretty much pick up the phone, text any hours of the night. We've all been there, and so communication and openness and is something that we're very big on. And then getting videos, and then like today, if any investors are interested, we will be happy to come out and tour them. You can go sometimes look at the construction site, things like that.
The next questions, they want to ask you, because I tell them I have learned that Golden Gate Global is one of the regional centers with the highest refund rate. So that's really impressions. Could you share more about the project evaluation process of the Golden Gate Global to help any investor understand and gain trust in their choice?
So our firm has repaid close to $200 million, mainly from the earlier Lennar funds. And again, showing with our perfect track record, we intend to repay all of the money we've raised. And so that is a huge factor, and a huge component of what we do, as I mentioned, track record, not just the success of the project, but repayment, I-526, and I-829, and all these approvals within the immigration side. And so when we evaluate a project specifically, as we discussed a little earlier, we talked about the reputation and the relationship with this developer. So all the projects that we end up deciding on underwriting, we underwrite at an institutional level. So we don't approach EB5 just as a small project in the middle of nowhere. We try to look for a project that's close to a major job center, major universities, major cities for employment and things of that nature. And then we run through statistics to make sure that the project that we're going to do on pro forma, cash flow, will be able to return the investors' money.
Yes.
And every project we've done to date has been from our immediate network. Our principals, UK, Mark Jorgensen, Willie Brown, former mayor of San Francisco, these are all relationships that they've had throughout their careers and universities they've gone to, like Berkeley and Stanford.
Yes.
And so we try to pick blue chip projects. We don't go for the real small, tiny ones. They're all blue chip, well-known, marketable deals. And that's how we initially approach it. And then a TEA has to be in a targeted employment.
Yes.
So every project we've done is in a TEA, and then some current deals in rural areas.
Yes, thank you for your answers. I think that we have more information about the projects. And the last question is, Vietnamese investors are highly concerned about the refund process in case their I-526 is denied. They would like to know how Golden Gate Global structures its funding to facilitate refund for the investor when the needs arises.
So fortunately, we have never had this arise to date. However, one of the biggest strengths in the industry, as you evaluate other regional centers and talk to lawyers, we have some of the strongest paperwork. And aside from the project underwriting, from a financial standpoint, I believe the legal underwriting is the strongest in the industry. So on the front end, when you invest in a project, it's where you're going to get your money back, is in that evaluation on the front end. So when we spend more time to get our deals done, we take longer with the paperwork to make sure it's all structured correctly. And then once we are done with that, then we bring it to market. Whereas other firms will actually do the reverse. They'll get out to market and they don't have their paperwork lined up. So we have an I-526 denial guarantee, and we have that guaranteed by the actual developer and owner of this whole master plan community we're sitting in. And we personally evaluate their financial records and evaluate all of the investors that are in that to make sure in the event this does occur, then there's adequate funds to return it.
Wow.
That's a non-issue for this project. It's been a non-issue for all the projects. But to your point, when you're first going into a project, that is a potential factor. But we've already de-risked it in this project with paperwork, the guarantees, completion of the project, and just the whole underwriting process from soup to nuts, from the project to the legal part.
I have time to work around the projects, and I really I have impressed with the project, because in the Vietnamese investor, they love to invest to the waterfronts, the beach project, and I think that can you share about how difficult for the project to build in front of the waterfronts?
Certainly. So this project is located on the Oakland estuary. We're currently in the San Francisco Bay Area on the other side of the Bay Bridge, which is considered the East Bay. And we're right outside the city of Oakland, and it's a beautiful pocket. It's slightly cloudy day today, but it is usually 5 to 10 degrees warmer than San Francisco. And so this project was started 20 years ago. It's now 2023, so 2001. They started to take an old shipyard and wanted to convert it into residential. So 20 years ago, there was a huge demand for residential units in the Bay Area. You fast forward, it's even a tighter supply. And so they got this approved over 20 years, 17, and then in 2019, they started to build, and this is the first market rate apartment that we're sitting in. So it's about 240 units or so. And it's owned by the developer, Signature Development Group, and Michael Metti and his team. And then they have a third-party property manager that runs it down in the lot where you're taking pictures. So it's a very political process. They started with former Mayor of Town of Oakland, Jerry Brown, who went on to become governor. And it takes a long time because there's also a lot of environmental issues you have to deal with close to the water. And also, since this used to be all for shipping, there's pollution. So these processes and phases take years and years. And then this developer decided to go very big. It's 64 acres. And they eventually got 3,100 residential units approved, 200,000 square feet of retail, 32 acres of parks. And then when we're walking around, you see all the walkways. So this marina walkway connects actually the whole bay. Eventually, there's other sections in the bay that go to walk around the whole bay. So there's people here on the weekends with bikes and walking, and it's a great outdoor public space. So part of the deal to be able to build at-rate apartments for rent is they had to put it in public space.
Thank you so much for your time today. Kính thưa quý vị, chúng ta vừa nói chuyện với ông Kludt là giám đốc điều hành dự án, phát triển dự án của Brooklyn Basin, và chúng tôi hy vọng rằng những câu trả lời của ông đã một phần nào đó đã giúp cho quý vị có thêm thông tin để đầu tư vào dự án này. Và như quý vị đã biết rằng là những thông tin của WordPad cũng như là tôi là một chuyên gia tư vấn, khi đưa đến quý vị đó là những thông tin đã được kiểm chứng và đã có những giấy tờ minh bạch, và chúng tôi được public thông tin đến quý vị, và đây là những thông tin mà chúng tôi tin rằng quý vị sẽ có thêm niềm tin với dự án. Xin trân trọng kính chào.